This is the Bay and Tepe Perspective. I'm Brian Bay.
And I'm Greg Tepe. Welcome to our podcast.
And this week's perspective is on...
talking about just freestyling, and we're trying our first video out on the podcast. Getting a taste of some videography, and figure we just basically shoot the shit this week.
Yeah, last week we had our first guest, which went smoothly, I believe.
Yeah.
That was on...
That was fun.
Yeah, that was on the pre-NFL draft.
Right.
So that was fun. We did the Chase versus Swell versus Pitts.
Yeah.
Little conversation and kind of flew into that. So that was a fun one to do for sure.
Yeah, the topic was fun, and just on the podcast side, learning how to have, we can have a third guest or whatever, or have a guest.
Yes.
And see how the technology works and the editing, blah, blah, blah. Everything went seamlessly, almost too seamlessly.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I thought it went well. So we kind of start messing with the videography aspect of it on Saturday. Start messing with it. We had the lighting that came in, and then we had the stand for putting the iPhone on so we can do recordings and figure to see how it is. And then on top of it, kind of a more, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the word, more laid, not almost laid back as far as subject goes. I mean, our podcasts are generally laid back, but we don't even have a subject. It's just...
Yeah, we got nothing to talk about this week, so...
Yeah.
Nothing specific, at least.
Yeah, it's just figure we just talk.
Yeah, we've been so deep into the podcasting world that we haven't had much time for other parts of life to stay up on current events or anything. I did personally watch the Mortal Kombat movie, which was fire.
I did hear good stuff about it. I need to get on that.
So if you're into that or ever have played the game, I fully suggest doing that.
I haven't heard anything bad about that movie.
Oh, no, it was action nonstop. I'm not going to give any of it away, but
right.
It's just way better than the 90s, like 95 version or whatever.
I feel like with those type of movies, this day and age, have gotten better with making it almost like realistic or something, where it's not like almost cheesy like it was in the 90s. And that's not even just with like Mortal Kombat, but just a lot of movies I noticed that we grew up on, like Batman's another good example. Remember the Michael Keaton Batmans? Yeah. I thought those were cool as a kid.
Yeah, like Batman Returns and all that.
The Dark Knight or whatever, that trilogy, that's like more adult. I always thought that was like the more adult Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Violence and all that, like real violence, not the comic book violence.
Yeah, no, it's definitely more. It's less quirky.
Yeah, and
like
back
in the day, it was like the Penguin was still like a penguin, and
yeah,
they haven't done a new Penguin one that I can think of. So
not that I'm aware of.
So I'd love to see how dark they would go with that, I guess. But like how the Joker got really dark and
so I can see that with Mortal Kombat. It's just it's almost like cinema has grown up. Obviously, that's just like anything else.
Yeah, where they're catering to our generation. We're adults now.
That too.
We're
adults that have our childhood attachment still, if you will. Like not in a bad way, but like we grew up on
nostalgia,
the superheroes, and like technically like our parents' age did, but that's when it was like real cheesy, like the Batman where it's like kapow, bam.
I actually had the original Batman movie. I have that on DVD.
Adam West.
Yeah.
And so I guess technically for them it evolved when it was like Michael Keaton Batman. And then we start growing up and we're like, well, we can make this even more realistic, darker, and, I
feel like those are all come around, too. They'll probably get cartoonish again.
Probably.
But, the Mortal Kombat was just nice. It was super intense. Action nonstop. The graphics were great. So, I definitely suggest if you're into that at all.
Right. Or even if you're not, like me.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever played the video game, it's...
Which I did that at least.
Yeah. You'll recognize the characters for sure.
I recognize some from the trailer I've seen, like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I can't remember the dude's name, but I recognize his hat. Like the...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what kind of hat that is, but that guy. Because I used those three a lot when I played, actually.
Yeah, those are the ones you used, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll recognize a lot of them. There is one new character that's not in the video games, or at least the video games we played.
Okay.
So he's new for the movie, I think.
Okay, which doesn't surprise me. Usually Hollywood likes to do that.
Yeah, and luckily they didn't seem to water him down. They didn't use him too much.
Okay.
So I was afraid that it was going to be like all about him.
Right.
So it's nice and spread out.
So you're afraid like they're going to take it and it's Mortal Kombat, but we're going to focus on dude.
Yeah, we're going to focus on this new guy only.
Okay, but they didn't.
No, they did really
That's
well.
Good.
Very well written overall.
That's good. Like I said, I've seen nothing but good stuff on social media about it for the people that have watched it. Like, oh, this is dope, and like they all watched this the first night, like you did. Like, man, this is. I didn't know it has such a following with the people I saw post it. If that makes sense. Like I knew it would have a good following in general, but some people I saw post it surprised me. I'm like,
you're like, oh, they're into that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a nostalgia, man, and like a lot more people I thought too that had watched the '95 movie. Yeah, actually, there was technically 2 movies in the '90s, but the second one is nothing to talk about at all.
It's easier to forget about.
Yeah, that one's easily forgotten. At least the first one had like something to it, but the second one, it was like, oh, that was real bad.
Well, do you remember all the hype with the video game?
Oh,
when we were kids? Because they were like, there's blood in it.
The controversy on PlayStation 1.
Yes.
The original PlayStation.
And I think I first played it on Sega Genesis.
Yeah, because I remember my mom being on the other end of it like, oh, no, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's how I remember my parents, at least my dad.
Even Sega, though, and Super Nintendo, you're right. So it's just the blood on that.
Yeah.
But I think it got more realistic when it went to PlayStation.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I think, if I remember right, on the Sega, it looked like this a red blob.
Yeah, it was just wet, But then they did, like, the fatality ripped, like, you could see the spine. It was cartoonish spine, but it was a spine.
You're right.
You know?
It didn't faze me.
No, it didn't do anything.
But that's also when I feel like it was the era of let's blame rap music.
And
so now start blaming video games for
any type of violence.
The actions of these kids that
we didn't.
In reality, it's the kid being dumb.
Yeah.
Or maybe bad parenting. I don't know. When we were kids, it was fun to blame other things. Like, oh, it's the music that made them do it. Whereas the video. How many times have you heard that?
All the time.
I think they even did it for something way more serious with Combine, if I remember right, where they're like, they listened to this type of music and
they
played these video games.
Shooters, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I get that probably doesn't help. I'm not saying that, but like that's not like the root cause.
No. But not every kid that plays that's going to go, you know.
Well, and the majority of us, especially our age, did play Mortal Kombat or something like that. Or like with me, I've listened to rap music for decades now. I haven't done anything. It hasn't influenced me to do anything.
No, not at all.
But I had to add Mortal Kombat to the list.
For sure.
There's other stuff that I know me and you talked about. People might get mad. I've never seen every Harry Potter movie.
No.
And I was like, now I'm older. I'm kind of want to watch them now.
Messed up on Peacock. They had them, and I was watching them. And I got to like the second to last one, and they've taken them off.
For real?
Yeah.
So I wonder where it's at now.
No idea. I have no idea where it's at. So I didn't get to finish.
Wow.
I was like, damn it. I was into watching that. I was going to watch the last 2. I procrastinated a little bit, but I was like, I can take a break. You know, I watched
They're not going anywhere.
5. Yeah, I was like, it'll be here. I'm like, Peacock's new. They're not going to cut stuff off. They've cut all kinds of stuff off and back and forth.
Wow. I don't like when stuff like that happens with streaming sites.
With like no warning. Like, at least send me an email. You have 3 days to watch this, and it's gone.
Right. Netflix, at least, they've always done that.
And I
ignore them, but...
No, and there's another one that I got from an email somewhere that said, it wasn't Peacock, it was another one of my streaming services that says, if you want to watch this, you better do it. I forget what it is. I just got it like today or yesterday. It was an email saying, like, if you want to watch these things, they're gone soon.
They at least told you.
Yeah.
Whether we decide to read it or not, that's on us. But
yeah, the Peacock didn't send that and say, hey, this was going to be gone.
That's wild. I haven't really explored a whole lot of Peacock, though. I've been sticking to shows I've watched billions of times. I know I told you I'm rewatching Parks and Rec because, like, I feel like for every 5 times I watch The Office, I throw in the Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm due for that.
So I've been rewatching Breaking Bad.
I did that a couple months ago.
I'm kind of into that. But I'm falling asleep to it a lot.
Yeah. Well, now you're to the comfort level. At least I feel like you are. Because I
have been going back and watching, though, where I fell asleep at. Because I'm still into that. Like, Office, I'll fall asleep and just pick up wherever I wake up.
Oh, yeah.
No big deal, because I've watched it so many times where Breaking Bad, I'm going back to the storyline because there's things that I missed. Or, it's almost new to me again. Not really, but...
It's funny to bring up Breaking Bad, and I mentioned The Office. I found a random stat the other day I meant to share with you.
Yeah.
Why not now, since you're talking about Breaking Bad? Bryan Cranston, who played Walter White, directed an episode of The Office.
Really?
It was the last season of The Office. Do you remember the work bus episode where Jim convinces Dwight that, like, he's not fertile anymore because the building has radiation, so he's trying to get off time for Pam?
I do remember that.
He directed that episode.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was extremely, like,
That's
cool.
so random, yeah.
That it tied into my favorite shows. And a couple of months ago, I listened to a random podcast that had it had Bryan Cranston on as the main guest, and the guy that played Dwight Schrute, Rainn Wilson, I believe his name is, was walking by, and they called him into the studio, and all three of them had a talk together. I'm like, this is a crossover of my two favorite shows.
Yeah.
And like Rainn Wilson was talking about like everyone on the set of The Office were huge Breaking Bad fans. They thought, that's the greatest show ever made, like I do. And I just think it's cool. Like, I'm weird. Like, the older I get, I like seeing the two worlds collide, if you will.
Yeah.
Or interconnect. I thought it was interesting. But Breaking Bad, it's funny that you're rewatching it, because I just did. My brother John, he's rewatched it. I think he said his third time since the new year.
Oh, really?
I think he just starts
He's
it over.
looping that thing.
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
Did he watch it years ago before?
Yeah, he's seen it almost as many times as I have, type thing. Like, once I got him to watch it, he got hooked, and now he's to the point where apparently he's looping it.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I want to watch something new, though. I just haven't gotten...
It's hard to find something new sometimes. Like, you get so hooked to a show, it's like, what can I get hooked to next? Because you're so used to that previous show.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost, I want to roll the dice on something being good or not.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time, but I usually take suggestions from friends, and I usually land pretty well.
Yeah. You still got Game of Thrones as one.
Yeah, I know. I need it.
There's that.
So many, though, like...
That's the problem now. There's so many.
Like, that sounds good, but that's not what I'm looking for right now.
You're not in the mood for that right now.
It's like, that sounds good, but
No, I totally understand.
I don't know what I'm in the mood for.
I hate that.
But I'm in the mood for something new. I just don't know what yet.
Right.
So, but I mean, that, and then watching the Reds play, they've been doing well for the most part. They're playing...
What a weird season, though. So, I mean, it's very early, but like they started off on fire. Then they went on a opposite of fire streak where they lost 7 in a row.
Yeah. They had won like 6 in a row, then lost like 7 in a row.
Yeah. And then they beat the best team in baseball in the first 2 games out in their own stadium in L.A.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 there.
Right.
So what are they? I think they're now 2 games under 500 as it stands today.
I want to say 11 and 13.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's not bad beating the Dodgers.
No, not bad at all, because I didn't expect that. Like, not to diss them, but you're playing the best team in baseball.
No, I mean, it's the best pitching rotation for sure.
Well, and we're coming off a 7-game losing streak on top of it.
Yeah, so
I was like,
yeah, that's not when we break it. He's going out west too. The Reds are notorious for playing horrible out west, even when we have good teams and we're playing bad teams.
Exactly.
Like even Arizona beat us up, and I wouldn't say they're great. They're not bad right now, but I mean they're not.
But they're partially not bad because they played us in 2 series.
Yeah, and beat the heck out of us. Yeah.
So there's that too. So we're not last in the division for one.
That's good.
Yeah, the Cubbies are below us, and we are 11 and 13. Milwaukee's in first at 14 and 10. So we're only 3 games back.
Okay.
And Milwaukee's playing the Dodgers here soon, from what I saw from Pick'em.
Oh, yeah. So maybe they'll get beat up a little bit.
Let's hope for a Dodgers sweep there. Because at this point, I don't care if the Dodgers run away to the National League. Let's just win our division.
Yeah, yeah. And luckily we have a lot of time still.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not even May yet.
Like, lucky our losing streak came after a winning streak. Normally we lose at the beginning of the season. We start off in a hole. We're trying to dig our way out all season.
Wasn't it 2 seasons ago, the last time we had a regular season, where we started like, I don't know, 3 and 20 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, but then caught fire and tried to dig our way out. Yeah,
yeah, but at that point it was almost insurmountable.
Yeah.
I think it was exciting to see us start as strong as we did, and the fact that we were the best team in baseball even for a while, not just our division, but all of baseball.
Yes.
I think it almost makes it more frustrating when we lost 7 in a row. I'm like,
because everybody wants to just keep it going and be the best team in baseball all season.
Oh yeah,
naturally. But I mean, they did about at least what I wanted them to do so far. I mean, I'd like them to be above 500, but I was like, let's start hot, so we can mess up.
Yeah,
which we did.
Give us a cushion.
Yeah, and now we can maybe bounce back on a little bit. Maybe not a winning streak, but just start winning some series.
Yeah, well, that's the ultimate thing, right? Win some series. So technically, when you look at it that way,
and just get above 500 again.
I think we only lost the last 2 series. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go by just series, okay, we had a 2 series losing streak. Still not good, but
yeah, we've won.
Baseball's about series.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing pretty good on that.
A lot of season left, though. So
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's what I was gonna. It's what, May? almost.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
by the
even.
time this is released, it'll be May.
Yeah, but I mean that's just basically the first month of the season, and we're going to be like 500. That's not bad.
No, I'll take it. And on top of it, like I just said, we're in the mix of the division. The
Yeah.
division's all pretty much, give or take, around 500.
Yeah, so there, good chance, and basically just need to get our pitching together.
Yeah,
By the end of the season, which Sonny had a good outing today. Hopefully
good.
that keeps going now. Like now that he's getting healthier.
of course, he had a good outing and a loss today.
Yeah,
Naturally, we have.
but he had a good
but-
outing. Yeah, I mean they were going against Kershaw though. So
Oh yeah.
what do you do?
I mean, like I said before, I was expected to be swept in this series. I hate to be like that.
Yeah.
It's because the Dodgers are so good. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that they didn't back down. The Reds didn't.
No, and Castillo's going to get it together. He likes warmer weather, so when it warms up,
Yeah.
I think he'll get it together. He's always there for us. And Malley and what the heck's the other guy with the M? Miley.
Yeah.
Wade Miley
Yeah.
and Tyler Malley.
Yeah,
They've both
not
been
confusing.
Yeah, they've both been on fire to start the season.
Yes, they have.
And we still have what the hell's his name? The one pitcher to come back that's real buff dude. I forget his damn name.
Oh. As soon as you ask the question, my mind goes blank like I'm on fourfold.
Yeah.
When Curtis asked the question, I don't know.
Either way, he's coming back. We'll look that up.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to look that up. I don't have my phone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got you.
But just look at like Reds pitchers. But he's traditionally been bullpen, and he was supposed to be in the starting rotation this year. So I'm hoping when he comes back, he can be that fifth.
Right.
At
least shake it up. We need to get something to work with the pitching.
Yeah, just get something going by our bull. I mean, hell, he might come into the bullpen because the bullpen's been rough right now, really.
Right.
Amir had a good day today, though. He had, he came in, got 3 outs. So good for him on that. I've heard they were attacking him on Twitter to the point that he finally, deleted his account. So hopefully it's just so he can focus on the season. Because I don't think he's the type that would let the fans get to him like that.
Right.
So I think it maybe just to keep that to the side so he can focus. But I'd love to see Amir come back because we're going to need him.
Yeah, we are. Having a good closer is definitely important.
Yeah.
I just always think of Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
Greatest closer
Well, he's
ever,
not even
but
closing
still.
for us anymore now.
Right.
He's just coming into the bullpen. He's trying to get anything together.
Exactly. So I'm looking at Reds pitchers, and I'm not on the same page as you, but the one that popped was Michael Lorenzen.
That's it.
Okay, good. Well, I was on the same page.
Yep.
So I'm looking, which
I knew it was
someone
someone at L, but I couldn't think. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was looking at the other pitchers. I'm like, no, not him, not him.
Yeah, Lorenzen, he's been hurt since before the season started.
Yeah, I forgot about him. But,
Yeah.
because he's been hurt, and the fact that we've been playing, like when we were winning the early part of the season, we were playing so well. I'm like,
Yeah, he was supposed to be in the rotation to start the season, and obviously hasn't played yet.
yeah,
But even him into the bullpen is just something. We need some pitching, basically. The hitting's there right now.
Well,
I think the hitting's going to be there.
I think you texted me the other day, like, why can't we have a year where both are on? No,
I know.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was Kevin.
No, I text you that.
Okay,
Yeah, I text the group.
that's
One of
right.
our-
Okay,
yeah.
it's like why can't both be on?
Yeah, at the same time.
It's
last
always-
year it was all about the pitching. We couldn't hit for shit.
Right.
Or at least once it counted. Once the playoffs start, we couldn't hit
Oh
for nothing.
man, that playoffs was rough.
Yep. So I don't know. I just hope we at least make the playoffs. Keep it interesting.
I want more winning culture in the city.
Yeah.
Um,
Because this is probably last year for Castellanos as a Red.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't see us re-signing him.
Well, that and he's catching so much national attention.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go get paid somewhere. And
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to afford him is what I'm getting at.
Did you see the cleats that Trevor Bauer was wearing?
Oh, yeah, I love Bauer. He still supports us.
Yeah, he was wearing the cleats. I think it was against the Padres, so it wasn't even the Reds were not involved basically.
No.
And he had the flexing.
The Reds or the Cardinals weren't involved in when he wore the cleats.
Yeah,
No.
players like Bauer. I love
Yeah.
the attitude and the production.
Well, when Tatis hit a home run off him the other day, he did the symbol of one eye thing.
Yeah,
Because he was messing with him because how Bauer says sometimes he pitches with one eye closed because he gets bored. And so Tatis hit one. He was taunting him. He's like, I love it. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw at him. He's like, pitchers need to stop throwing at people when they do that. Let
I
'em."
did see that
Yeah,
quote.
he's like, it's really hard to hit in this league. He's
Yeah.
like, when they hit one, they should be able to celebrate.
Yeah, he's all
like-
about it.
He's like, I'm not mad at it. He's like, I'm glad it happened. He's like, I'm just going to be better next time.
Yeah,
You know, he's like, yeah, talk shit to me. I don't care. Like,
So it was because of the one eye?
yeah, he did
Okay.
that. Like, if you saw the replay as he was like rounding second, he looked at Bauer and did like a one eye thing. Yeah.
I just heard the quote that you just said. I heard that part. I'm like, that's another reason why I like Bauer.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so that's what happened. That's going to be a good rivalry.
Oh,
Padres
yeah.
and the Dodgers, because they're the part I heard on ESPN, too, was the obvious. They're both good teams. If they're both winning, it's a rivalry.
Yes.
If one of the teams is not winning, it's not really. I mean,
No. And the Dodgers haven't had much of a rivalry in their division lately.
no. I mean, the last one I can think of, maybe the Giants, back when the Giants were,
Yeah, that was more like early 2000s.
yeah, when they were going to the World Series here and there.
Yeah. But they haven't had a true rivalry out there for a while, so it'd be nice. And Padres is nice because they're not a team that's always been good.
That's what I like.
You know, someone new.
Yeah, I always like seeing new teams, unless it affects my team, right?
Yeah.
So like even like NFL, like the Bills last year, it was nice seeing them good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, maybe you don't like the Bills, but like
No,
I like
don't
seeing the
mind
random
Bills, but yeah.
teams. I call them.
No,
The Bills
honestly, even in our division, though, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing a year where it's the Reds and the Pirates that are, you know, obviously the Reds need to be involved in it.
no, yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing the Pirates as much as I hate them. But it's just like someone.
Besides the Cubs and the
Yeah.
Cardinals,
I'm ready for the Cubs to suck for another 150 years or whatever their drought was before.
it feels like 150 years.
Yeah. I'm ready for them to suck again, you know, and the Cardinals get out, you know.
Yeah.
I'm ready for some new reigns, obviously including the Reds in that division. But like, it's just good to see a different rivalry, you know,
Yes.
different teams.
Well, for a while there, a couple years ago, Milwaukee was like almost our rivalry because they kept owning us for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And like I felt like maybe this is a kind of a change, but it happened so much in those couple of years that I'm with you. Like Pittsburgh makes more sense now. Let's have Pittsburgh and Cincy.
Yeah.
Let's take it from football to baseball.
And I like a rivalry that I hate Pittsburgh. I don't hate Milwaukee as much.
I don't hate Milwaukee.
So for that rivalry, it's not as intense for me, but I don't like the Pirates. So it's like I'd like to hate them when they're good.
I think I
You know,
only-
I'd like to hate them when they're good.
I think I only dislike Milwaukee enough for the fact that they're in the division, but technically I don't dislike them. Kind of like what you're saying, like where if Pittsburgh is good because I hate them,
Yeah.
it makes it a rivalry.
Well, for me, it's who I grew up. I grew up hating the Pirates.
Right,
They were one of the teams I grew up hating.
right.
I didn't grow up hating Milwaukee because they were the AL back in the day.
Yeah, I mean,
So I didn't really care. It was
I don't
indifferent.
even, and I don't even know if they. I don't,
Did anything in the AL either. You know?
I don't remember much about them.
No.
Now the Astros, pre-cheating, when they were in the NL,
NL.
we played them a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they were a team that I didn't care for because of that.
Yes.
I wouldn't per se say I hated them back then. It's just more like, oh, that's just the random team we play. They were in our division, weren't they?
They were.
Because we had 6 in our division.
Yep.
But still, I just didn't hate them as much. But like with me, I don't know. Like when we were younger too, our big rival, the Reds' big rival, was the Dodgers.
Yeah, because we were in the West for a while.
Right,
Which
baseball's
was
so
super
goofy.
random. Yeah. Or even like the Bengals Oilers. I never really hated the Oilers like I should have.
Me neither.
They're our rival more so than the Steelers were back then.
Yeah, I always remember my dad saying that once I really got into football more, and he's like, like we hated the Steelers growing up, but the Oilers were the team. It was like the Oilers and the Browns.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Browns, why?
Yeah.
It's interstate.
And Paul Brown said, bounce. I'm out.
Yeah, and you have that famous game where,
Sam Weiss.
yes,
We're not in
we were playing
Cleveland.
for a second. And he's
Yeah.
like, we're not Cleveland.
You don't live in Cleveland. You live
Yeah.
in Cincinnati.
Now I will say I did feel bad when Cleveland lost to the Browns. I thought that was messed up.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, come on. And it felt weird not having the Browns in the NFL,
Yeah.
especially since it was like our interstate rival. So it's
They made me hate the Ravens at first.
Same
Just
here.
for the Browns.
Same
I'm like,
here.
come on, man. Like, you're just going to leave like that?
Yeah.
The only solid they did was like leave the namesake and everything there.
Yep. And
Like
then
they started as a new franchise.
and they told them that you'll be a new franchise in, was it 3 years, 4 years, something like that. So at least you knew it was coming back.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. And
No.
we've heard rumors way back with like the new stadiums and stuff when we were terrible as well of the Bengals possibly going somewhere else.
Yeah.
That even made me nervous, and we sucked.
Yeah, and I'm afraid we're not as big of a staple as Cleveland was for the NFL that they said, yeah, you'll come back in 3 years.
Oh, I don't think so. Look what happened when we lost our NBA team.
Yeah. never to be found again.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati in general is just known as a baseball town. That's never going to happen with the Reds.
No, the Reds will always be here no matter what.
But if the Bengals were to move, like you said, and especially with being such a clustered area, we have the Colts hour and a half away. You have the Browns. You have the Bears. The Steelers are technically close.
Yeah.
You got a cluster where baseball, just for sake of conversation, Indianapolis does not have a baseball team.
No.
The next closest baseball team would be still Cleveland, Chicago, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like if in the NFL wise, if the Bengals say move somewhere or whatever, the Colts are close enough where let's try to get a team out west. Let's put the Bengals go out west or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. Based off recent conversation too that we've had, where it's how expensive it is to move a team.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it looked like when the Rams moved or something, or the Raiders recently.
Yeah, they had to pay a ton of money.
Like billions.
Yep. What are they saying? The Chargers are almost bankrupt because of the move that they had to do.
That's wild. You know Mike Brown's not going to do that.
No. So I'm not too worried about it. My question to you is, if it did happen, I think I've asked you this before.
Oh, put it on record.
Are you still a Bengals fan?
I don't know. It almost depends on how it happens. We'll start with that asterisk.
Yeah.
I guess just to answer your question, I feel like I would be.
Yeah, but it depends if it's a bad taste.
Yeah, if it's something really just wrong.
Yeah.
Where I'll be it's
we fully blame them for leaving and not the city of Cincinnati for not trying to keep them.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
Where they do something real shady.
Yeah.
Almost maybe like
when the Colts left Baltimore.
Yes.
When they snuck out in the middle of the night.
Yes, that would piss me off.
Skedaddled onto Indy, yeah.
Okay, let's just say, I'm gonna take a step further. Say it is the bad way. Who do you become a fan of? I mean, I know you like the Cowboys, but do you go all in with the Cowboys?
I don't know. Because I don't know that even if it's a good way, I could stick with them.
I know. I'm going to say
that
the hard
way.
thing.
I don't know that because I like them because of Cincinnati, so I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if I could just stick with them blindly like that.
The only reason I say where I could possibly see it with me is because at this point, I'm not a 20-year-old answering this question. I've dealt with the pain for, as far as following the NFL, 30 years. And that's not counting the part where I was alive. It's just where I start I always say, I feel like I try to pinpoint when I start following the NFL, fully. And to me, I do it based off the first Super Bowl I can remember really even noticing was the 91-92 season where Washington football team now beat the Bills. And even then it's kind of...
Yeah.
But to me, so I put it in that light, so that'd be 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years into a Bengals team that has let us down more times than not, depending on the situation, I can see but I can also see it fading over the seasons.
Yes. Maybe
at
first
see
they're
that
pulling
happening.
for them, but see, my thing is, I'd hate for them to leave and then win the damn Super Bowl without
That'd be
winning
our
the
luck. That would piss me off.
Yeah. And that's why I don't know if I'd want to root for them.
Yeah, and that...
Because I'd almost want to root against them for them not to win the Super Bowl somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point, because now my raw answer was I would not like that.
No.
And that's the selfish reason. I want my hometown to win.
Yes, not
go all somewhere and then, we won.
Yeah, I think I've been so loyal to them a lot because of them being in my hometown.
Right.
Not so much as the franchise.
Yeah,
To an extent. You know what I'm saying?
That is why. That has to be. That's how I got into them as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Is because that's your hometown pride.
The answer, though, I don't know if I think I'd start fresh. I'd say, I like the Cowboys, but I don't know if I'd be all in necessarily.
Yeah.
I also like the Panthers. I've always liked them. But I don't know. I don't know where I would go. I don't know. I have no idea.
Start fresh.
Or I might just not watch the NFL as much.
I know that. I mean, it could be something bad enough where I'm like, screw it, I'm done with this.
Because you know what I'm saying? I've said in the past, I'm more of a college football guy anyway.
Right.
So
it wouldn't be as surprising if you stopped with the NFL, where if I did, it's like something bad happened.
Yeah. I might just stop. I don't know if I'd fully stop, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I might become a fan of just players or something.
You may not boycott it like some people do with sports, or leagues, but you may just not go out of your way to follow or watch.
No, like I said, I most likely probably just go to players.
Yeah.
I'd
like
just
the NBA.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I like this player, I like that player.
Now, could you imagine? It made me think. You asking that? Could you imagine if you were a Raiders fan from Oakland?
Yeah, I know. And
They moved to L.A. They came back. Then they went to Las Vegas. It's like,
Yep. But I've always heard that's Raiders Nation.
I have to.
But I hear that from people that don't live in Oakland or L.A. or Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I don't know that is that Raiders Nation is because you say that because you're from Ohio and you like the Raiders.
Yeah.
You know, like, it doesn't, if, like, I'm a Cowboys fan and when they went from Irving to Austin, I didn't give a shit.
Right.
You know? Like,
And we know some Raiders Nation people in Cincinnati.
That's what I'm saying. So
like,
I don't know if that's, like, because that's their team, they're not tied to the city.
Yeah.
So they could give a shit where the Raiders play. They just like the Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same if your favorite team is your hometown team.
And that's why I don't know if that's the way it is if you're an Oakland native.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
If you're in Oakland, did you stick with them when they went to LA? I'm sure some of the fans didn't.
Oh, I'm sure
some did, some didn't.
I'm sure a lot did, honestly.
A lot probably did, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot that didn't either.
I think I heard the same thing about when San Diego moved to LA recently. A lot of them were like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. But
it's probably similar too, though. That this was Browns country until the Bengals became a thing.
Yeah.
So we obviously gained fans.
Yeah.
You know, we were a fan because grandparents were fans and things like that. So it's like,
right.
I don't know when. What year did they come to Cincinnati? When did we get established?
1968.
68. So see, I don't know how old my grandpa, for example, would have been when that happened.
Right.
You know, older than he was born before 68, obviously. And probably old enough to be at least an adolescent child. I don't remember when he was born exactly, but I feel like he's in the 50s.
My parents, I remember, they were like around 10 years old.
Yeah.
So I remember my dad used to tell me stories about when the Bengals first started, how exciting it was. Because, you know, especially my dad's side of the family, we were big, you know, I inherited from them big football.
Yeah. So was your dad a fan of someone else before?
I never got a chance to ask.
Yeah, I never asked that.
Yeah.
See, I just didn't know how that, yeah. Like,
granted, he was also 10, so maybe he didn't have time to, I don't know.
You're super young at that time.
Yeah. I wish I had, that's something I never thought, I wish I would have asked him that.
Yeah, I never thought about.
Yeah.
It was just a curiosity because I never got to ask my grandpa either. Like, at least if I did, I don't remember that conversation.
Right.
That, like, did you become a Bengals fan just immediately? And that's probably for people even older than him. Like, obviously, you know, like, I want to know what adults felt then.
Yeah.
Like, adults that were already Browns fans that, like, were Browns fans because they were the closest team.
Right.
It's kind of like, okay,
or Ohio.
So the example now is we're Lakers fans.
Yeah.
Always have been.
Yeah.
Always will be. Cincinnati gets an NBA team. What do you do?
Yeah, the reverse question. I would root for the Cincinnati team. I'd still be a Lakers fan, though.
Yeah, so East championship.
Damn it.
Game 7. Cincinnati Royals versus the Los Angeles Lakers.
You know, it probably won't surprise you. My answer would be Cincinnati, just because we need winning here.
Yes.
And I love the Lakers. So if we blew it and the Lakers won, okay, this is another banner.
Yes.
That's another reason. The Lakers, you know, have the most in
so
the
you kind
league.
of just become fans of both, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even, like, to me, that's a weird situation because it's not like giving up on the Lakers. I'll still root for them. It's the fact that we finally got a team. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's kind of the hometown thing that you're talking about.
So fast forward. Cincinnati beats them 3 finals in a row. Dynasty.
Yeah.
Lakers fans hate Cincinnati now. We're the new Boston Celtics to them. Fuck Cincinnati is what they say.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
I think I still Cincinnati just because I live here.
Yeah, Cincinnati and Lakers though, like still, like 'cause I think that's where we can. For me, I think that's where I can remove myself from not being in LA, and I'm not going to hate that my hometown team has beat them 3 times.
Right.
You know, like if any other team beats them 3 finals in a row right now, like rando team that I don't hate currently.
You know, I would hate them.
I didn't. Yeah, Oklahoma City or whoever. You know
Miami. I hated Miami, even though they didn't beat us in the finals. But that spurt.
Orlando. I'm indifferent with Orlando Magic.
Okay.
If all of a sudden they somehow beat us 3 finals in a row, I probably hate them.
Yeah.
You know, I probably dislike them after the first one.
I would.
You know,
that's how I am. I'm petty.
After a 3-peat on our ass, yeah, I hate you.
I didn't like Detroit when they beat the Lakers back in 2004.
Yeah.
I had no opinion before.
No.
Excuse me, before that.
And I don't necessarily hate them now, but they only did it once real quick.
Yeah.
If they had to beat us 2 more in a row, I'd probably still hate them.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, for me, is like I could probably differentiate, like, yes, I'm going to root for Cincinnati, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard, but it's also like, see, I always ask that to the MLS fans because, like, we got FC Cincinnati now.
Yeah.
And most of them were Columbus Crew
right.
Fans. And it's like, well, who do you root for now? And they're like, well, FC, but we're kind of rivals with Columbus now, so it's real weird. You know, like they're always like, it's real weird right now, you know? Because FC is so new.
Yes.
You know, to the major leagues. No, so new in general, and then new to the Major League Soccer, obviously.
And it's so close.
And it's so close, and they're just kind of like, yeah, like that's a rival, so it's like weird. You know, like they just don't know.
It's not like my cousin out west, he is big into soccer, and he likes Seattle. Seattle's his favorite team. But he roots for Cincinnati. I mean, he has roots in Cincinnati with, family back here.
Yeah, but they're not a rival.
But and they're not a rival. They're not geographically close. And he's separated from both being in New Mexico. So he's not in Seattle or Cincinnati.
So I got another one for you.
Jeez.
I know, I'm coming with the hard-hitting ones today, dude. I just keep thinking about them now.
I think we have a theme now.
We have a theme. This might be the theme of the show now. So, you got the Bengals. Old Brian B becomes a billionaire. Buys a football team. Says, I want to start another team here in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Who are you rooting for then? You have the Bengals, and then I come in with an NFC team. I buy the Arizona Cardinals. I bring them across the country. I park their ass in Cincinnati. You got the Cincinnati Cardinals and the Cincinnati Bengals. Or even an expansion team from scratch. Either way you want to look at it.
Either way, you have a team here.
Yep.
I'm proud to support you.
Me personally. Okay, say it's not me.
Okay.
Say it's Mr. Kroger comes in and buys the team.
If they win. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who do you do? Yeah, what do you do then?
It is tough.
I mean, obviously, to me, it's like if it's the first year they're in the Super Bowl and the Bengals are in the Super Bowl, I'm rooting for the Bengals because I've been their fan forever.
Me too. That one, definitely.
But is there any point where you transition?
It might be one of those things where the Bengals just never change and we just keep a losing culture.
Yeah.
I may have to give them a try. At least it's a hometown team.
Yeah, it's almost like the White Sox Cubs kind of scenario.
Right.
Like, I know that's baseball and it's a little different.
But what if it turns into an East Side, West Side thing? What if the Bengals turn out the West Side team and the new team's the East Side?
What if it's the opposite?
So
what if the Bengals become the East Side?
I have to stick with the West Side, I guess, right? Yeah. I'm a West Sider.
So that's kind of one of your differentiating points then, I guess?
Not for real, just a hypothetical.
I know, I'm just saying, like, it's weird, though. I don't know.
It is weird. This is a tough one because, like,
fortunately, it'll never happen.
I need to delete the part in my head that it's not going to happen, but just so I can play along with your little evil game here.
Yeah.
I think initially I would still stick with the Bengals and pay attention to the new team to see what they do because it's still at least a hometown team and it's at least a different conference.
Yeah, because I mean, naturally they would have to be in the other conference,
right? And the chances of us playing each other in the Super Bowl are slim. But if that does happen. I guess it's a win for the city no matter what.
Yes.
The rest of the country, not so much. The NFL, not so much. Like, oh, man.
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, any major sport, like, remember the theories back to the NBA when the Lakers played the Celtics in the finals for those last 2 years? Kobe's finals against the Celtics?
Yeah.
And you start hearing murmurs. I remember when we worked at Target hearing murmurs that, there's a conspiracy. Someone's controlling this so the Celtics play the Lakers because that's what the NBA wants. Fluff up their numbers, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that. I believe the leagues hope for those type of matchups, though. They hope the Lakers play the Celtics. They hope...
Oh, they want the big.
The Yankees play the Dodgers.
To me, if there's a conspiracy, the Knicks would be good. And they're good this year so far. Yeah. But they would have been good a long time ago.
And more consistently.
Yes. Because the New York's the biggest market.
Yes.
Why would they not want the Knicks, one of the oldest teams that plays in the Mecca,
to
be good all the time? That's good for business.
Why wouldn't you see more often? You can't do it all the time because then people will catch on. But why don't you see more often in any of the major sports, New York facing L.A.? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm trying to think of when that's happened in any sport off the top of my head. I'm sure it has.
But in our lifetime that we can think about it.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, no, you'd want that all the time. That's East Coast, West Coast, two big markets.
Right.
The whole nation's going to watch,
Yeah, because you have bigger followings. And even if the whole nation doesn't watch, the two most populated areas are going to watch.
Yeah. So, yeah, you'd see it a lot more often, I would think.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think that there's that full-on conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't buy into that conspiracy. I think that's just, obviously, they hope that they get the rivalries or the big markets match up so they can make more money off of it. Yeah. I do believe that, but I don't think they're orchestrating it.
No, I couldn't see it because I think if they were, it would just be like the Knicks is my biggest example.
Yeah, that's a really good example. Or the Jets.
Or the Jets, yeah.
Why not? Mm-hmm. They're older. Never mind. They're not. I don't think they're older than the Giants, but just why not the Jets? Just even every once in a while, like I said, try to sneak it in. Like, oh look, the Jets are really good all of a sudden.
Yeah,
maybe they did. Maybe Rex Ryan messed it up so bad when they.
Yeah, or they're trying to do it and he messed it up.
Like, oh man. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the Jets are have been the new joke of the league.
Yeah,
they can't do anything right.
But yeah, I think if it was a conspiracy, it would just happen more often.
So do I. That's just a conspiracy I can't get on board with.
No, not that one. Not fully.
And maybe also because I'm a sports head, so I'm like, oh, come on. But I can't buy into that one.
No. And I think now, too, like moving forward, that big markets don't matter as much now.
They don't.
You know, like just with the internet and everybody being able to watch everything all the time, it's just more in your face.
You're more connected. You saw the shift big time in the NBA.
Yeah.
Especially when Oklahoma City was on top there for a while.
Yeah. Well, NBA is more and more of a players' league now in general.
Oh yeah.
Not that it always kind of wasn't, but now it really is.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're old heads that have like the Lakers that we root for. Most people have players.
Which I can't blame them, especially if you're in a non-NBA town like we are. Like I'm not mad at people I know that are player driven.
Yes.
Like Antoine.
Yeah.
You know, I know when I first met him, he was typically a Heat fan.
But like D Wade.
If I remember correctly, it's because of D Wade.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not mad at it. Or Curtis. I know he was.
I don't know who he roots
Iverson
for now. Antoine or Curtis, for that matter. I don't know who they root for actively.
I don't either. Now you say that. I feel like. I mean, this is a couple years old now. I feel like Antoine was still rooting for like LeBron teams.
Yeah.
Or LeBron was one of his players, I should say.
Yeah.
I feel like I made jokes with him that when he joined the Lakers, we're finally on the same team.
I remember you saying that.
So, Curtis, I'm not sure at all. Curtis, the last I remember Curtis, and this was years ago, was Durant. And I'm talking about when Durant was with the Thunder. So
yeah,
that was
super old school, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him just being an AI guy, like you said.
Yeah, ultimately he was the AI because when I first met Curtis, AI was a Philly. He liked Philly. Then he went to Denver. He liked Denver.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad at it. We don't have an NBA team here. And to me, it's more exciting just seeing NBA fans here. Because for the longest time, when me and you first even became friends, mm-hmm. We were a rare breed for an NBA.
To even like the NBA at all.
Yeah, because I always heard the same stuff. Oh, they don't try on defense and they showboat. Which there is some of that to a degree, but if you actually pay attention to an NBA game and an NBA season, granted, I know we're in the lull of the NBA season right now. It's like, okay, let's get to the postseason. But there's some good rivalries. There's good matchups. It's not all just what you stereotypically hear.
No. And more players are starting to hate each other again, it seems like.
That's what I prefer.
Yeah, because there was that area in time, though, that there was less hatred towards.
Yeah.
There was they're all friends, they're making super teams. Yeah, but now they're starting to hate each other.
I'm so glad you said that. Before I came over here, did you know that Dr. J did not put LeBron on his two greatest teams? Like, I guess he created a list of his two greatest teams. So I guess he had 10 players essentially.
Okay.
And he said LeBron's not on my list because he's in the era of like if I can create my own team, then I'm not picking you. You create your own team. You're cheating. Oh, not cheating, but like you're building your team.
Yeah.
Like I won't see if I can find it real quick.
So he kind of like penalized him for.
And I love Dr. J. I never watched the dude play because he's old school, but I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'll see if I can find it real quick.
No, I don't know. I feel that way, but I mean, now there's so much talent, though.
There is.
I think when the super teams first started forming, like when the Celtics did it and then the Heat did it, it was just there was less talent, less equal talent across the league.
Right.
Where it was like, yep, the Heat are going to beat everybody because they're the only team there. But now there's just so much young talent. Players are developing faster, and this is in almost every league. Baseball's gotten younger, NBA's gotten younger. How the NFL's getting younger, there's.
And they're getting. I mean, the talent. It seems like it's.
They're just coming in.
Now.
Yeah, they're coming in and affecting it more immediately. Before you'd ride the bench, even if you were good. Even Kobe rode the bench.
Yeah, he didn't start at first. No. His first game was a horrible game. Mm-hmm. I remember reading his book. He airballed. I think a potential game winning or tying shot.
Yeah. Now you got more and more players who are just coming straight in the league.
So you want to hear this real quick?
Yeah.
I found the quote and everything. So this is Dr. J he was on another podcast Not ours, not yet. But he said, my first team is like Oscar Robertson and Jerry West. I got Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Elgin Baylor. Doesn't surprise me. He's old school. Mm-hmm. He says, that second team, Magic, Michael, Larry, Karl Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those guys, they would be my second team. And a lot of people would argue that LeBron, and then it says muffled, it's crazy to kind of pick him on the third team. And then it goes on to say, when you look at LeBron and anybody he sort of picks with him, he played with so many guys. He's the guy who has led the charge in terms of super teams being put together. When he put together the team in Miami, he put together that team in Cleveland as well, and put together a team in Los Angeles. So he can pick his own team. I'm not going to pick his team. I'm not saying nothing bad about LeBron. So that was Dr. J's quote. Yeah. And I see where he's coming from. I mean, you also get the debate of how each generation of players. Like I always hear Barkley talk about, he kind of gives the new guys a hard time, if you will. Yeah. He's like, I played with Michael Jordan. Yeah. So and I get Barkley's argument. Mm-hmm. So Dr. J's doesn't surprise me. I mean, you heard his list was like old time players,
old goats. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I get it. It's just hard for me. It's also hard to argue eras.
That's where I'm at this point.
With anything. But yeah, I just like the era we're going into now, NBA wise, because I feel like yes, it's super teams, but there's a lot of them.
Yes, there's more of them now. Because for a while there was only like a couple, if that.
But the talent's just expanding. Some of the people that need to retire have retired. They're moving on.
Well, even just some of just off the top of my head, some of the really good teams this year. You got, Utah's been in first place in the whole league like all season. You got a young Phoenix team that's in the top 5. You got Philadelphia that's really gelling finally this year. Yeah. Brooklyn. Then you got the Milwaukee's, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets and the Mavericks are like the bubble good teams. Like I like watching what's his name from the Mavericks, Doncic or whatever. Yeah, that guy, Luka. He's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
Not against the Lakers, but I like watching him against our teams.
Yeah, he's arguably the best player in the league.
Yeah, I like, and he's young. He's like 20, 21, something crazy. Yeah. So I agree. Like the NBA's in a good spot.
Yeah, they're moving up.
And then you got Adam Silver as running it.
Oh, he's the best commissioner I've ever seen in any of the leagues.
Same
in my life.
Same here.
Because they just he's revolutionizing the game.
Right, and he cares. To me, it seems like he cares what the players want. Like,
and he's willing to try new things.
Yeah,
he's willing to stick to things, or like, I'm not going to do that, but I'll do this.
Well, he did a hell of a job handling the COVID situation. The NBA was able to restart their league or season. Yeah, they decided to do it in a bubble. They had 0 people that got COVID, where Major League Baseball, it was like when the season,
it was a shit show.
Yeah, for lack of a better term, it was.
It was a shit show.
And even the NFL had their issues. We had to reschedule
doesn't know
games.
What the hell he's doing, dude? He's a train wreck. He's the worst commissioner I've probably ever seen.
I agree.
Worse than Goodell.
I agree.
Manfred's is a train wreck of a person.
Yeah,
man.
There's a reason why I don't really hear much about him, because it's such a train wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to fix baseball before it's jacked.
Yeah.
It's hard because even us loyalists like me, it's harder and harder.
Yeah. Well, you get frustrated with how they handle the sport. You still, I think, at least speaking for myself, I still like the sport. Yeah. But it's the business and how it's handled behind
and
it.
Also the extra, what the hell? Why are you starting in extra innings with a person on second? That's the dumbest.
I don't like that. And if you want to do that,
and no one I've talked to likes it. Who said that they did? Because I talk to these young guys at work, like it's the next generation up, the early 20s and stuff, and they're like, that's the dumbest ass thing I've ever seen. I'm like, well, thank you. At least I'm not a grumpy old man that doesn't like it. You also
that's
don't
not the way I...
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be the grumpy old man, but they were like, yeah, this is dumb as shit. I'm like, good. Okay, I'm glad that you also think this is dumb as shit.
And it's a weird way to try to handle your product. Like, I get that some games can go on forever.
Yeah, you're trying to speed the game. I get the premise behind it, but...
But to me, if you're going to do it, why not start putting someone on second in the 15th inning? Where it start at that point, it's getting ridiculous. Or maybe the 18th, where you played 2 games essentially.
Something, yeah, like not right off the jump necessarily. Yeah,
I don't like that, and it's benefited the Reds a couple times.
And how did you choose second? Why didn't you just choose first? Like, I guess to prevent the double play from happening right off jump. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know either.
It's just a silly one.
I forgot about it. With the COVID season last year, it's like, okay, we got all these silly rules.
Yeah.
And then when the regular season started this year, and I believe it was when I was watching. Yeah, it was when I was watching the Reds game. I'm like, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and I was almost at the point where I was willing to accept the DH everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've always been kind of against that because I am a traditionalist to a certain extent.
And it keeps it fun with baseball, where the AL is different than the NL. With that.
But I was like, you know what? I could accept that if that's one they want to keep at this point. I get it.
I could too.
And then they didn't keep that, and I'm like, okay.
And they went with keeping the guy on second on the 10th inning.
That's what we want to do.
Like I said, if you want to do that, do it like the 15th, 18th, whatever, a higher number where the game is like, okay, this game's been going on for 7 hours. At that point, in the past, I've had times where I'm like, I don't care who wins at this point.
Just someone win.
Someone win the damn game.
No, I'm with you. There definitely has to be a correction with that, and maybe this is it. Maybe I just got to get used to it, but I just don't think it's the way I want to go.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I don't know. We're 50-minute mark.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, about ready to wrap this
yeah, I think
freestyle
it's good,
up.
Good to wrap it up. We'll see what happens with the video. The video will be probably coming soon, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely coming soon. It's at least a test. We'll see if this one gets posted or not. But
yeah.
This is our first test episode.
We're making progress with this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for sticking by.
All right, are we done?
Are we done? I think we're done.
I think it's done.
Wrap it up.
Yep.